Time, the agenda is taken up by the board of directors. Persons wishing to address the board of directors during the public comment portion of the agenda may complete the public comment form, which is located at the back table of this boardroom. No actions or discussions shall be taken on any item raised during the public comment, except that board members or staff members may briefly respond to statements or questions. If any member of the public wishes to comment on an agenda item, a public comment form should be submitted prior to the time of the item being announced. The completion of the form is voluntary. Persons that do not fill out a form but still wish to speak will be allowed to do so. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please turn off all phones and pagers, and please, no personal attack. Before we go into closed session, we have public comments here. I have 3 public comments in order of submittal. Brian Harrison. Brian?
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, Mr. President and directors. Freezing retrograde. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. President and directors. My name is Brian Harrison. I live at 263 West Adoncia Drive. I wanted to come to you all today because I got some feedback on an article we ran in the paper regarding the water use issues as far as the public areas go. There's been some concern because we're still seeing streets being watered on a daily basis, and the parks are very green looking, and while it's very nice and all of that, there's some concern because besides my article, I published your directive from earlier this year that the mandatory water restrictions directive, and that's calling primarily for residents to curtail their water use. But when the town is being watered on the streets every day, that doesn't exactly look real good. So I wanted to bring that to your attention, and I know of some of the solutions that are being done, like the drip system and that kind of thing, and I wrote back to this one person in particular that I believe that CSD is adhering to the current level of restrictions by the state and the county. So anyway, I just want to bring that to your attention. As far as your closed session agenda, I wanted to throw my support for everything that our general manager has done and is doing for the town. I think she's a huge asset to Mountain House, and I think the people of Mountain House really appreciate the work ethic that she has, the knowledge she brings to the table, and the way she's able to keep direction in these meetings. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Harrison, I just wanted to let you know that we are looking at further issues on the water, and it is on the agenda shortly to be dealt with. That's all I wanted to let you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Susan Patterson.
Good morning, Board of Directors, President Gutierrez.
Good morning.
I'm Susan Pattison. I live on Tradition Street in Mountain House, and I am speaking to you on the item 4.1 on the agenda. I would like to also throw in my support for Mrs. McClintock. In my opinion, she saved, well, not my opinion, the fact is she saved us thousands upon thousands of dollars by taking on Trimark, using her good judgment when she got the library moved. She also stayed and continues to stay in the fight and continues to fight for Mountain House by using her skills, knowledge, and to take on the fire contract, which in turn will save us thousands upon thousands of dollars. Communication between the CSD and Mountain House, the general population, has never been better. And that is 100% attributed to Mrs. McClintock. She has made herself available. She responds in a timely manner. It's her honesty and forthrightness is something that I've always admired in her. I am truly concerned about the reasons for a termination of Mrs. McClintock. After your last hiring choice of a GM and the debacle that was, and the hundreds of thousands of dollars that cost our town, I really hope you take into consideration the times that we're in, the state of our economy, the condition of our economy in this town, and the fact that the residents see Mrs. McClintock as a benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Patterson. Mr. Jeff Lamb.
Good morning, President Gutierrez, members of the board.
Good morning.
My name is Jeff Lamb, 730 Farrington Street. I'm going to read because I'm really nervous this morning. I know you have a difficult decision to make, and I'm sure you won't make it lightly. As you convene in closed session, please weigh with your reasons that Jan is a very popular GM with your constituents, with many successes in her short term. Ms. Patterson also already listed those. Her advocacy of Mountain House residents and good stewardship of our tax money are important traits as we dig deeper into water issues and high-profile contract negotiations. I personally believe that she is a great fit for the job. She has the strength to stand up to tough negotiations and a strong knowledge of how our district operates. And we need that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lamb. Ms. Michelle Mason.
Good morning, board. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm also here on behalf of Janice McClintock. There's not much more I can add that Susan and Jeff and Brian haven't already said. However, from the outside looking in, we do think she's a great general manager. She has put herself out there. She's went to bat on behalf of this community to save us thousands of dollars, as they have already said. The employees, from what we see, seem to like her and think that she's a good boss. So it's really hard to see why this is even a consideration. You ask us to put trust in you, and we do. We put trust that you would hire a good general manager, and what it's sounding like is you failed twice. So if you do make the decision to let her go, I hope you don't do so lightly, that you weigh the pros and the cons. We don't have all the information, as you guys have said, and we understand that. So all we can ask is that you don't take it lightly, you weigh the pros, the cons, and realize it's going to be hard to get a new general manager when we keep firing our general managers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mason.
May I readdress the board?
Go ahead, Susan. You can go ahead.
Can I comment on the last person's?
Again, hello everybody. Good morning. I'm Susan Patterson. I forgot one more issue that I wanted to address. According to the American Disabilities Act of 1990, this meeting was given shorter than 24 hours notice, yet written on the letterhead clearly states that anybody with disabilities or needing any assistance, it's required of them to give 48 hours notice for it to even be addressed. By scheduling this meeting in the short time that you did, and then having that on your letterhead, you've eliminated a large part of, not a large part, several people in this community from being able to attend and participate. And this meeting, in my opinion, is in direct violation of the American Disabilities Act of 1990. And I am very disappointed that you choose to eliminate that part of our population. Thank you.
Town Council, could you respond to that?
Thank you, Mr. President, board members. The error is mine. In preparing the agenda, I had used the regular agenda item or agenda format, which requires 72 hours notice. And in doing so, I did not change the 48-hour notice, which is typical that this board has adopted for its regular meetings. You do have the ability to notice a special meeting, which is in compliance with the ADA. It's just the notice language on the back was an error by me. Also, I was present when the agenda was posted at the front of the building, and it was before 9 o'clock yesterday morning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Council. Director Farron?
Yes, thank you. It feels a little awkward to revert back to Ms. Mason, but Ms. Mason, I just wanted to address one thing that you mentioned since it was public. We have never fired a single general manager, so I just wanted to clear that up. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Director Sitt?
similar to what Director Farron said, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and you know, I used to follow Facebook, you guys know that, and a lot of things are put out there are just not correct. Like this last thing that was said, nobody has ever been fired, and the reason that general manager left, nobody should know about it, because it's closed session stuff. And I don't think we ever announced that I was terminated, but you know, some people take something from somebody said and twist it to this and this, and now we've fired the last 2 general managers. We haven't fired anybody. The second thing that about the library and the water contract, and really the dual source of water, came before this general manager. We actually already set it in motion. So, you know, people want to give credit where it's due, then you should. But some of those things actually did not come from this current general manager. Again, that doesn't, you know, those are not things that we take. And this is, I'll say it this way, I don't know, this is difficult to say, but to have to tell us to take this, not take this lightly and, you know, weigh everything and the pros and cons is, most of you guys, I think I know everybody out there, except maybe Ron's. I know everyone. I've known some of you for 10 years. And I hope you all know that this decision is never, or any decision up here is never taken lightly, and we try to weigh the pros and cons. And you know, most decisions, there are 2 sides, and we really haven't had too many simple decisions on the board, you know, the last 6 years. So again, we take this and every decision seriously, and I wish we could tell you guys more about all the information that we have, but we cannot. I mean, we're not legally able to, you know. And I don't know who I was talking to yesterday, you know, maybe some of the people out there, if you saw the information, this is a generality, if you saw, huh?
I don't think we should be discussing this at all.
I'm not saying anything about the information.
You're still advocating a position. I think it's better just to stop.
Okay.
I just want to say 2 words.
Go ahead, Director.
Thank you for coming.
That was like 4.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was going to say thank you, but I had to say why.
Double the
Okay, again, we will thank you for all your public comments. If there's no further, again, we take all matters very, very seriously because we live here and this is our community. So again, I just like to thank all of you for showing up, and we are going to make decisions for the best interest of this community. Moving on to item open session closed. Now we're going to close to a closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 5495 7.7. Going into closed session, Council.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members. The board is now adjourning into closed session regarding action item 4.1. There are no facts or circumstances at this time to disclose. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have now reconvened back from closed session to open session, and I'm now going to go ahead and defer agenda item, go to discussion of closed session of the Government Code Section 54954, 57.7. Mr. Schroeder.
Thank you, President Gutierrez. Board members, the board has reconvened into open session regarding closed session item 4.1. All of the board members were present during the entirety of the closed session. The disclosure is as follows. By unanimous vote of the board members present, the contract with the general manager is being terminated under Section 11C without cause provision of the contract effective midnight tomorrow night. The general manager to remain on paid administrative leave until that time, and the board has appointed Gay Giles as interim general manager at this time. Thank you, sir.